So let's jump into our week 6 picks. Week 6 already. Wow.
Yeah, last week you went 9-5. I went 7-7. You were now 41-20. Wow, 49-29. I am 48-30. You got me by a game right now.
Yeah, that was a big swing. That 2-game swing last
Yeah.
week. Um,
Let's kick it off. Thursday night football. Denver at KC. Enough said. I think KC wins this by a lot.
yeah, I got to go KC. I mean, Russell Wilson has been quietly putting up numbers, especially in garbage time. But with that said, I mean, if you watched the end of that Kansas City Minnesota game, you would know that Kansas City has the officiating in their pockets, and I don't think they lose a single game going through the rest of the season just because of what I've seen.
You're not wrong.
The past 2 games. The fact that so even if the DPI towards the end of the game, even if that wasn't called, which first off you call it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you pick it up. You go and you pick it up and take it off the field, and then the cornerback takes off his helmet. I forget who it was.
It was L'Jarius Sneed.
L'Jarius
Right?
Sneed, yeah, takes off his helmet, and which for anybody else is an automatic 15-yard penalty. You sit there and you tell him to put his helmet back on.
Yeah.
If that's just not favoritism, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I did
ridiculous.
see that video.
That's infuriating. I watched it happen live, and I was literally screaming at my television because any other team that's a penalty,
No, 100%.
except the Chiefs. And then you got Patrick Mahomes, Kermit the Frog over here, doing that, and hitting dollars in the air, like with his hand signals, like as if he's paying off the refs. You're like, oh, I can't stand it. I don't like Patrick Mahomes. I'm Patrick Mahomes. Like, shut up, dude. All right, Casey, Baltimore at Tennessee, 9:30 London game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm torn here. I mean, these London games, they've shown you just have no idea. It's a toss-up. It's a coin flip. I landed on Baltimore on this one.
I mean, yeah, it's hard because I feel like nobody travels well to London except for the Jags, and that's probably just because they're so used to it.
And because, I mean, they were just there for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee's been playing better football. They actually got DeAndre Hopkins involved in the offense last week, but I still got to give the edge to Baltimore. I think they're the better team on paper.
Yeah, listen.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see anything happen here.
Lamar's receivers have to help him out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Zay Flowers is good.
No, Zay Flowers is good, but they had like 4 touchdowns dropped.
Yeah.
It was bad. They should have easily won that game against Pitt, and they threw it away. But yeah, I'm gonna go Baltimore here.
All right. Next up, we got Washington at Atlanta. I mean, Washington. This is a get right game for them. You just lose to the Bears on Thursday night. You have a kind of a mini bye coming off of playing on Thursday. But Atlanta's looked solid. Their defense looks good. They're home. I'm leaning Atlanta here.
I'm going Atlanta, and just for the sole reason, I will not pick a game against Desmond Ridder at home until he loses.
That's true too. Yeah, I mean,
I brought it up last week. He still won.
As bad as Desmond Ridder may appear to be in film.
Listen, Ridder looked pretty damn good this week.
I didn't watch the game. I just looked at the stat line.
He looked pretty damn good. He went 28 of 37, threw the touchdown, 329 through the air, had a rushing touchdown as well. Listen, he graded out very well on PFF. He was a top 5 quarterback this week. I don't expect that week to week.
Yeah,
but
against Washington's defense,
if he could show some flashes and show that he's got the potential to be their guy moving forward, they're going to have more trust in him. Let him throw the ball, and just stop being so careful with him and trying to protect the ball. Let him make the plays.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta's just such a weird team too.
Yeah,
because you have so they should be so much better than they are.
Yeah.
You have Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, Drake London, on offense.
Even Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, and I feel like they're just disappointing every week, at least in fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, I think their biggest question mark is still at quarterback.
Yeah,
and you just have to let Desmond Ridder make the plays. Let him make bad plays. Let him make good plays, because it's only you're gonna have to see what you got in him.
Yeah, it's growing pains for sure.
And 100%. But when you're only having him drop back, I think his what was it, week 1, he threw the ball 18 times. I mean, he's thrown it 30 plus ever since. But I mean, listen, let him make the plays.
Yeah, no, I gotta go Atlanta. I mean, Washington also, again, they got embarrassed by Chicago on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Minnesota at Chicago. Minnesota's without Justin Jefferson. That's a huge loss for them.
Yeah.
And I just got the notification that the Falcons have agreed to trade for Rams wide receiver Van Jefferson.
Really?
Yeah. I saw this morning that the Rams were shopping Van Jefferson. I didn't realize it happened so quick.
You know what? I kind of like that for Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice guy to stretch the field.
Yeah. It's a deep ball guy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, Minnesota, Chicago. I mean, Chicago coming off that big win against Washington. We were just talking about it. Minnesota, I feel like they should have had a bigger chance to come back against KC, but they didn't. No Jefferson. I'm leaning Chicago here at home. But that's because you convinced me before the episode that I should take them.
I'm taking them.
Yeah,
I'm taking Chicago. I can't believe I'm taking Chicago.
Well, Justin Fields' last 2 weeks has looked pretty good.
Oh no, I know, and
DJ Moore's been
I just can't
incredible.
believe it because when I was sitting here last week, I just didn't think I would pick Chicago once this year, and now I'm picking them against the Vikings. Who, if you told me before the season that I was picking Chicago over the Vikings, I would tell you that you're crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going Chicago though at home. I think Fields has a day. That secondary in Minnesota is still rough.
Yeah, no, I mean Minnesota's defense is definitely not been that
And
great.
DJ Moore is going to have all the confidence in the world right now.
For sure. Except I could see a quiet day from him this week. Coming off 2 back-to-back big games.
Yeah.
Especially one as big as against Washington. But then again, you do have the mini bye.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm also going Chicago. Seattle at Cincinnati.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cincy here. I think their offense showed a lot. Like I said, I don't care that it's against Arizona. They really put it all together. Got the ball in Chase's hands. And you maybe have T. Higgins back this week. We'll see. But even if not, I think Cincy wins this one here. I'm
going Seattle.
Okay.
Now, I'd feel a lot more confident if this game was in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
It's been hard for me to pick Cincy just because of how they've looked to start the season. Again, not to discredit them, but it was Arizona they beat.
No, I know.
I don't hold too much weight to that. And Seattle's looked like a top 10 team in the league this year.
I could agree with that.
They have really high-powered offense. Their defense has been making plays. I think Seattle's just the overall better team on paper. And until Joe Burrow can consistently start performing, I'm going to be picking against them.
That's fair. We got San Fran at Cleveland.
San Fran's the best team in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't just beat the Cowboys on national television.
They embarrassed them.
Yeah. I mean, they 42 to what?
It was 42-14, right?
Something like that, yeah. They laid up 42 against the Dallas defense has been, really good this year.
Top 3.
Yeah.
Listen, I know it's their system, but Brock Purdy's making the plays he needs to.
Yeah, I mean, as long as he can sit there and make throws.
If he can make those throws, and then you have the run game and that defense, that defense is tough.
I mean, and they didn't even need to use McCaffrey much against Dallas. He had a quiet day.
I think Jordan Mason had a bigger game.
Yeah, I mean, because they didn't need to use McCaffrey.
Right.
Save him,
Yeah, there's no point. I mean, he still had 19 carries, 51 yards, and a score. 2 catches, 27 yards.
With that said, though, Cleveland's defense has also been sneaky good.
Yeah.
Cleveland's defense has been...
It really has.
Pretty solid. I think this is going to be a really good game, actually. I think San Fran comes out on top just because, I mean... I don't know if you look at their schedule. They have a cupcake schedule going forward.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know.
So, I mean, this is a game I could definitely see San Fran losing and slipping up on. But I got to ride with them after.
Listen, I know they're slowly becoming your NFC rival here, but I really, really hope San Fran goes undefeated this year. I just want to see a team go undefeated.
Hey, if Philly can.
They're going to lose this week, what?
Carolina at Miami. Why are we even talking about this game? Miami
by a million.
Miami at home.
Yeah, no, Miami's going to win by a lot.
I mean, Carolina just got destroyed. They got a 40 bomb put on them by Detroit.
Yeah. Miami's going to win by a lot.
I mean, even Miami without Achane is still a disgustingly fearful team.
Yeah.
You got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert still.
Yeah.
It's the greatest show on surf.
It's like I'm looking at these games like they didn't look great against the Giants on offense, which is scary because they still put up over what they scored 36 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. 30.
I want to see like I think they could go into this game and put up another 55.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't be surprised. Carolina's struggled, especially on defense.
Yeah.
I mean Carolina might be the new worst team in the league.
Yeah, I think every week we have a new worst team.
Yeah.
Although we've been talking about how bad they are.
Yeah, I mean we don't need to talk more about that game. Miami all day.
Yeah.
Indy at Jacksonville. Now, Anthony Richardson might. Well, no, he's going to miss his game, right?
Yeah.
He's hurt. I mean, Jacksonville, they're home. Wait, is this their third straight home? No, because the Buffalo game was supposedly at Buffalo, even though it was in London.
Yeah, I'm switching my pick. I'm going Indy. Just because Jacksonville's been in London for 2 weeks and they're gonna have to adjust again, and I think they're gonna come out slow.
I could see that.
I think the Indy ground game has a day.
But the way Jacksonville held Buffalo's defense, Buffalo's offense.
Yeah.
Last week, I mean, given I know the travel probably played a big part into it. Jacksonville just looked really good.
They have. ETN looked really good.
And I don't think Indy's secondary is going to be able to hold off. I mean, Zay Jones is back, and you add him to Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram, Etienne out of the backfield. You have a lot of firepower on that offense for Jacksonville, and I don't think Indy is going to be able to put up the same amount of points as Jacksonville can.
That's fair. New Orleans at Houston.
Now, this is a game I've been going back and forth on.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, Houston looked really good. They almost won against Atlanta. That was a really close game, a really close ending. And Houston's home, and New Orleans is also coming off a blowout. They literally shut out the Patriots.
The problem is, I don't think the Saints are that good.
No, neither do I. Yeah, I think whenever you have a big game like that, I'm a firm believer in the NFL always levels itself out.
They're going to come back down to earth.
Yeah, I 100% think that.
I do think Kamara has a big day.
Right.
Kamara's look good.
But this is just on paper. I think New Orleans is the slightly better team. I think Houston's still trying to figure some things out. I mean, Tank Dell, I think, has a concussion, right?
Yeah, he does.
So I mean, that's a loss right there.
I'm going Houston.
I'm going New Orleans.
Okay, I'm going Houston. I think they rely heavily on the ground game this game.
I know. It sounded like I was going to take Houston, but no, I'm leaning New Orleans.
I think they rely heavily on Dameon Pierce here, and I think he has a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, I think Kamara has a day. I think Chris Olave eats.
I can see it.
Yeah. New England at Las Vegas is the next game.
I got to go Vegas.
Yeah.
And not even just because of how bad the Patriots have been, but their O-line's been terrible. And Max Crosby last night.
Yeah, Crosby looks insane.
I personally think after watching that game, Crosby single-handedly won them that game.
Yeah, he's a beast.
He's a difference maker.
I mean, he has so many tools in his belt when it comes to pass rushing.
He's going to be in the discussion for Defensive Player of the Year, as he should be. He's arguably a top 3. I'd go top 5 edge rusher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to put him up there with Bosa. You got to put him up there with Parsons. You got to put him up there with Watt. Like at this point, he's established himself, and I think he's a real game wrecker. And I think he's going to be a big part of this game against New England as well.
And he looks like a pirate.
Yeah, he does.
No, I mean New England's just been messy, to say the least. Vegas, I mean, you have Josh Jacobs, you have Devontae Adams on offense, you have Max Crosby on defense. I think Vegas, just talent alone, is going to scrape by in a lot of games, like they did last night.
Yeah,
I think they will again here against New England.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Arizona at the Rams. Now the Rams coming off a loss against my Philadelphia Eagles, which was relatively
they looked good in the
game.
first half.
Yeah, they didn't adjust well in the second.
No, I agree.
In Arizona, I mean, they kept it somewhat close with Cincy. But losing James Conner is a huge hit for that Arizona run game.
Yeah.
I got to go with the Rams.
I got to go with the Rams as well.
Any more analysis?
No,
okay.
No. You touched on all of it, honestly.
All right, now we got Philly at the Jets, obviously.
Let's go. No, I'm taking Philly.
Yeah, I could see this being
I think it's
a
a close
trap
game.
game.
I think it'll be a close game.
I could definitely see this being a trap game. I mean,
I still think you guys win by a score.
I pray that there aren't any significant injuries playing on that MetLife turf.
Yeah.
But I Philly looked pretty solid against the Rams.
Yeah.
From the highlights I saw.
Hurts was making some good throws.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he's starting to play a little better.
And they got Dallas Goedert involved.
Right.
Time.
Yeah, and I mean, Goddard was making plays out there. Yeah. The Jets, I mean, you lose Elijah Vera Tucker for the year. And
our offense is the biggest thing. I think our defense is going to keep us in it for the most part. Like, I mean, Sauce has just been Sauce. He's been really good still. You guys have the weapons though, and if DJ Reed is out, it's gonna be tough.
Big Devonta Smith game.
Yeah.
Actually,
Bryce Hall looked good.
You know who I think is going to be the game MVP for us if we win? Jalen Carter.
Yeah.
Carter has been one of the best defensive tackles in the league. I'm not even talking rookies. I'm talking all defensive tackles.
He could eat up that interior now too. I mean,
yeah, with no Elijah Vera Tucker. I mean, I think
Laken Tomlinson's been pretty bad.
Yeah, I think Jalen Carter's going to eat. If Cox is out again for us, you're going to see a lot more Jalen Carter, and he's just been a game wrecker.
Yeah, I mean, the issue is, like, if that's the case, we're not going to be able to establish the run, and we're going to get killed. If we have to rely on the pass, we got to be a run-first team. If we have to rely on the pass and rely on Zach to make the plays, listen, Zach could probably make some throws that they're not letting him make, but he's still raw.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I like Philly on paper, but again, I could see this being a trap game. And yeah, I mean, I gotta go with my boys. Gotta go Philly.
I'm going Philly as well.
Detroit at Tampa. This should be a good game.
Should be pretty good. Tampa coming off the bye.
Yeah. Detroit, I mean, coming off a huge win.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a big Mike Evans game. I really want to go Tampa here, but I'm going to stick with my gut. I'm going to go Detroit here.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm on the fence here. I mean, Detroit's just been playing like a top 5 team in the league, though.
Yeah.
How do you not go Detroit? And Aiden Hutchinson's really good.
Yeah, he is.
So, yeah, Detroit. The Giants at Buffalo on Sunday night.
You know what? I think this is a trap game.
I don't know. I mean, I
don't know why. I
could definitely see.
Feels like a game that the Giants would win for some reason.
I could definitely see Tyrod Taylor stepping in if Daniel Jones, can't play.
The Tyrod Taylor revenge game.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, because Tyrod Taylor, like I was saying earlier, he's gonna make that offensive line look better than it is, just because of how shifty he is in the pocket. Yeah. Daniel Jones, he's a fast guy. He's an athlete, but I don't think Jones, he's just, because of his size, I don't think he's as shifty as Tyrod Taylor is.
Yeah.
I think Taylor can tuck it and run. He can, get the ball out fast. I could see this being a really competitive game. But I mean, Buffalo also didn't look that great against Jacksonville.
No, that is very true.
But then again, they're home on prime time. I don't know. I wish this game was flexed to like 1:00.
Yeah.
And a different game was flexed to the night game, but it is what it is. I got to go Buffalo at home.
Got Dallas at the Chargers for Monday Night Football. I'm making the pick. I'm going with the Chargers here.
Wow, we have a lot different. I got to go Dallas. I mean, this is a bounce back game for them. After what just happened, they're a better team than what happened on national television
100%.
The Niners.
100%.
I mean, Micah Parsons said it best. Like, I think they're just as good of a team as San Fran. Just San Fran was more prepared Sunday night.
That's fair. Dak's got to be better.
100%.
Dak's just got to be better.
I mean, Dak is mid. I've been a huge. I'm not gonna say hater of Dak Prescott, so to say, but like, I'm not as high on Dak Prescott as most people are.
Yeah, no, he is pretty mid.
I like I said, I've been saying for years that I don't think he's that guy. I don't think he's the guy that's going to take you to a Super Bowl.
I mean, he's been the beneficiary of an elite O-line, an elite run game,
and great receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, you put anybody in the situations that Dak has been in, and they're going to perform.
Yeah. Probably perform better.
Yeah, I could see next year this being Trey Lance's team easily.
I could see that as well.
Yeah, I mean, you
Is
make
Dak's contract up at the end of the year?
I'm not sure. There might be an opt out or something in it. Actually, I think I remember looking into it, and I think there might be opt out in like 1 or 2 years. But yeah, no, I got to go Dallas. I mean, the Chargers. I know they're coming off a bye, right? But
yeah. Which actually that's huge for them because Herbert broke his finger.
Right.
Non-throwing hand, but
then again, I mean, I think Dallas is going to travel well. The Chargers aren't really known for having
fans
that home team advantage. Yeah, I like Dallas. Buys this week are Green Bay and Pitt.
Yep.
So if you wondering why we didn't talk about either of them, they're not playing.